On the distant island of Rhodes, where the sea meets the mountains and green forests cover the hillsides, people live for centuries telling stories of miracles and of sacred places that protect them. And the most wondrous of these stories was what happened on a mountain overlooking the sea. One ancient evening, a simple shepherd was tending his flock near the hills. And as the sun began to set, he spotted a strange light at the top of the mountain. It was not like the light of a fire, nor the light of the moon, nor the light of the stars. It was like a heavenly spark pulsating with life. The shepherd felt astonishment and fear, but he did not retreat. Instead, he climbed slowly over the rocks until he reached the summit. And there he saw a religious icon of the Virgin Mary placed on the branch of a cypress tree, surrounded by a gentle light as if sent from heaven. The shepherd hurried to his village and told the people what he had seen. They all went out to witness the miracle and carried the icon with them to the church in the village. But the next morning the icon had disappeared. When they searched for it, they found it again on the same tree atop the mountain. They returned it to the village once more, but as soon as night fell, the icon returned to its original place on the summit. The people realized that the Virgin Mary had chosen this spot, so they built a small monastery there to be a home for this religious icon. And since then, the mountain has become a destination for visitors. Years passed, days went by, and the monastery was exposed to the elements until it was restored in the 18th century. Its structure became a simple but sturdy Byzantine style, standing majestically on the summit, overlooking the Aegean Sea. Before, it stretches a long beach, known today as Tsambika Beach. The site of the monastery rising above the sea was like a spiritual lighthouse, guiding hearts before guiding eyes. Over time, this place became associated with a special blessing. Women who were unable to have children would come to the monastery and walk the long staircase of nearly 300 steps barefoot. Then they would enter the small church and approach the religious icon. And they would ask the Virgin Mary to bless them with a child. And the stories say that many of them returned to their homes bearing the good news of pregnancy. The news spread through the villages, the islands, and even to distant lands, and people began to travel to this mountain carrying hope with them. One of the most famous stories told by the people of Rhodes is that of a Turkish pasha's wife who could not conceive. She heard of this monastery and decided to visit it despite the long distance. She arrived on a hot day, exhausted, but she climbed the stairs until she reached the church. There she lit a candle before the religious icon, then took a little of the oil that burned before it and consumed it with great faith. A short time later, her wish was granted and she conceived a child. Her story spread among the people, and they considered it a new sign of the blessing this place holds. It is said that the name Tsambika itself is derived from an old word meaning spark or gleam, a constant reminder of the first light the shepherd saw on the mountain, a light that never went out, for it transformed into a symbol of hope and life. And from that day on, the name became associated with light and hope. Today, when a pilgrim or tourist visits this monastery, they experience a unique spiritual journey. It begins with the ascent of the long staircase, each step bringing them closer to the heavens and opening their heart more. Each step brings them closer to the heavens and opens their heart more. And when they reach the courtyard in front of the church, they see the vast blue sea beneath their feet, the mountains behind them, and feel the breeze touch their face. Then they enter the church and find simple walls, yet saturated with the scent of incense and the sounds of prayers that have risen here through the centuries. They see the religious icon surrounded by candles and flowers, and they feel they are standing before an ancient mystery experienced by their fathers and forefathers before them. And so the story of the Tsambika Monastery endures through time, telling of a shepherd who saw a light in the sky, of a religious icon that refused to stay in the village and chose the mountain, of women who found new hope after losing it, and of a name born from a spark that still shines to this day. Everyone who visits this place returns with a new light in their heart, because the spark that shone hundreds of years ago still glows in the hearts of those who believe in it, and it always reminds them that hope never dies, and that a blessing can be born from a small flame atop a mountain overlooking the sea.